Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this Transformation Essentials webinar series. So this is the fourth episode in Transformation Essentials, and we've had a lot of good feedback about what we've been doing so far. So for those of you who are attending your first Transformation Essentials series or webinar, just to give you some context, this is for training and placement officers and faculty mainly. We understand that the odd student might be also joined in, but the primary purpose of this webinar series is to give insights on best practices from different companies in the edtech space, as well as other companies from the recruitment area, to give you more insights on how you could structure your placement and training department, improve upon and learn from other best practices. So this is the intention with which we are doing it, and in that I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm sorry about the video. I'm just turning it on. And in that sense, we have with us Sarvesh Agrawal, who's the founder and CEO of Internshala, with us today. We are going to be talking about a very important topic, which is internships. Over the last few webinars, we've been getting a lot of questions around how do I, get students to find internships. AICTE has announced an internship policy. They're kind of, we get points for kind of facilitating more internships formally, and internships have also become a pathway to full-time employment. So there's been a lot of questions around that. We thought we'll bring in an expert in this space to talk to you guys, and also shed a lot of light on the trends that this COVID-19 brings in terms of internships on offer. So the main idea with which we've brought in Sarvesh is to hear it from the expert himself. And just for some more context, Internshala is the largest internship search portal in India, which is used by students. In fact, FACE recruits many of its interns from Internshala. So with that note, I will quickly introduce Sarvesh. Sarvesh is the CEO and founder of Internshala. He's an alumnus of IIT Madras, and since graduating, he worked in Capital One, Barclays, and Aviva before starting up. For the past 10 years, he's been on a mission to build a world full of opportunities for students by providing meaningful internships and reducing the skill gap between the industry and the students. Welcome, Sarvesh, to this webinar, and thank you for taking the time out to address our audiences.
Thank you, Vijay.
Great. So now, before I hand over the presentation to Sarvesh, I'm just going to run a couple of polls. I believe attendees are still streaming in. So while we wait, I'll just quickly launch a poll. The first poll is very simple. Have you heard of Internshala before? How many of you have? It's just a quick poll, if you could please answer. So you could click yes or no. So if most of you, if you're on a mobile device, this might be tricky. You might have to long press it. Great. I'll close the poll now. Almost, 100% is yes, which means everyone here has used or at least heard of Internshala before. Another quick poll before I hand over to Sarvesh. Internshala does have, MOUs with institutions. So, would you know, if you're a TPO, you'd be able to best place to answer this. If you're not a TPO, you could probably, if you know about it, you could probably answer this question. Does your institution have an MOU with Internshala? Right. I'm just going to leave the poll up for a few more seconds. All right, thank you for responding to this poll question. Just so you guys know, 28% of the attendees here already have an MOU with Internshala. Surveys, this is FYI. I'm sorry, it's 32% now. So I'm closing the poll. 32% of the audience, their institutions have some form of a memorandum of understanding with Internshala. I hope that gives you a sense of our audience as of now. So over to you, Sarvesh. I'm going to make you presenter so you can start your discussion.
Thank you, Vijay. That was quite nice to hear that almost everybody already knows about Internshala. That sort of simplifies my job of explaining what we do. I'm also glad to know
Sarvesh,
that some
quickly,
of
I'm
them.
sorry to interrupt. Your video is not on.
Achha, my video is not on. Okay, let me just turn that on.
Great. It's now clear.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Can you see me now?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Vijay. And hello, everyone. I hope in these trying times, all of us and all of you are keeping safe and doing whatever you can to keep your students safe and engaged. I think my wife is a school teacher and she is constantly engaged in the academic community. And I think to be able to teach students online and to be able to complete the course and do the examination online, I think it's the hardest job that I've ever seen anyone doing. And I can't even imagine how all the campuses all over India are coming together to make sure the students' interests are protected. We also been interacting with a lot of faculty members and training placement officers on Internshala, and I see placements, internships is a rising worry, and rightly so, because economy is not doing well, and it will take some time for economy to bounce back. But Internshala, and I'm sure all the edtech companies out there will do whatever they can to ensure we extend every possible support. So with that note, I'll quickly run you through a few slides that I have. I had requested Vijay that I wanted this to be an interactive session, which is why we'll quickly jump into a Q&A format where I think that will be more relevant, where I get to understand questions that you have and answer those questions directly rather than spending time on what I think you might be interested in. But quickly, why Internshala came into existence and how internships help. So I think the problem is very simple. We want all our students to graduate with great jobs, careers that they love, and things that they feel passionate about and will feel happy doing. Right? All of us want that. Be as an elder brother, be as a parent, be as a teacher, be as a training placement officers. All of us want that, but unfortunately, it does not happen as often or as easily as it should. Sorry. And uh, and we should wonder why. And I think all of you already know the answer. It's because a lot of students still don't know what's right career for them. There could be lack of skills, technical and soft. And there could be lack of aptitude and professionalism, and then obviously lack of guidance and opportunities. Right? Internships can solve all these problems. This is my favorite game. I don't know if any of you have played this before yourself. It's a Super Mario game, and you know, in Mario game, when you're playing the game, you get these powers where you now and then, and you become from Mario, you become a Super Mario, right? I think that's what internships are for a student. They turn a regular student into a super skilled and super engaged and super qualified student. All these problems that I talked about previously in terms of not knowing what is right career for you. So if you do if you do a few internships while you're in college, you can figure out where does your heart lie and where do you have the right skills to build a career in. Lack of technical and soft skills. So in internship, you get to apply what you learned in the classroom or elsewhere on real life projects, right? You interact with teams, you interact with clients, you build your soft skills. You build a network, you're in the industry, you're talking to mentors, and those are the people who can help you get a job when you're looking for one. In fact, several of internships, and I'll talk about that briefly, come with pre-placement offers these days, and that's a definite route to start your career. And obviously, internships help you earn a stipend. You learn to live independently. You learn how to behave in an office, how to build your career, and what are the different office dynamics that you should be aware of. So, in fact, internship is one solution that addresses multiple problems. So, I think if every student in India did at least one meaningful internship while they were in college, their career paths and our placement records would be a lot different than what they are today. The whole problem of employability that we talk about, I think, will go away if every student could do at least one meaningful internship while they are in college. And that's essentially the mission with which Internshala is operating. And as Vijay pointed out, we are world's largest internship platform. So in terms of number of companies who use this platform or number of students who use the platform, in no other country exists an internship platform as big as Internshala. It's a Made in India platform. About 100,000 companies post about 1.5 million internship opportunities on the platform every year. About 10 million students and recent graduates use the platform every year, and it's a free platform. That means students don't have to pay anything to Internshala to find an internship through them. All our internships come with a stipend, and all the internship opportunities are verified. I think that has been one of the key reasons why Internshala became the success it became. Right from day one, except NGOs and few very niche profiles, we have been insisting that companies should pay a stipend to the interns, because at the end of the day, they get some valuable output because of which they hire interns, right? It's fair that the interns get some remuneration, however small that is, as a token of appreciation, as well as to take care of their living expenses, right? And we also verify every internship, because we understand that internship is a very unorganized market. There are some players out there who may exploit students in name of internship. They might charge money or may not give them meaningful work. So we tend to authenticate and verify every company before we allow them to list on Internshala. It's not a foolproof method, but at least 99.9% cases we are able to filter the right companies on the platform. 40% of internships come with a PPO option on Internshala, which by PPO I mean at the end of the internship, if the student is available, companies would want to absorb that student on a full-time role on the same company if the student does well in the internship and wants to continue in the same company as a full-time employee. So I think that's a big statistic. So if students do well in the internship, 40% of them would get absorbed in the same company on a full-time role, and that can do wonders to the placement burden the colleges have to deal with. If all of your students did an internship and 40% of them got placed through internships themselves, then I think your task will be simpler. 40% of internships on the platform are work from home and online internships, and this trend is now rising given the COVID-19 situation. So in COVID-19, it's anyway particularly important that that everybody has to work from home and their students can't go to offices. But even otherwise, I think a lot of times our academic calendars may not allow students to pursue internships when they are in college, right? And the work from home internship, work from campus internships allow that flexibility to students, that even when they are in college, they could do internships and build their career. So previously I spoke about how we believe students should do multiple internships so that they can figure out what's the right path for them, what's the right career for them. And I think work from home internships are a great way for students to manage both their academic schedule as well as practical exposure through internship. Internshala is also official internship partner of AICTE since 2017. So we signed an MOU with them in 2017, and I'll talk about that in a minute. 100,000 plus organizations hire interns in Internshala. Pretty much every company who wants to hire interns, barring a few who directly go to campuses. I think every big brand, every small brand, startups, NGOs, government offices, MLAs, MPs, government bodies, universities, professors in universities, pretty much everybody who has ever thought of hiring interns, including FACE, Vijay from FACE just talked about that. They invariably at some point or other would use Internshala to hire interns. What are the top internship segments on Internshala that we see? So most of the internship opportunities are concentrated in these four broad buckets. One is obviously IT and programming, so website development, mobile application development, Python programming, software development. So I think there are number of internships available in that domain. Data science, upcoming field, so machine learning, artificial intelligence, analytics, business analytics. So a lot of internships we see on the platform in this domain these days. And then there are a lot of internships for the MBA or the business segment, so marketing, HR, operations, finance, accounting, etc. And I think, but the biggest segment we see on the platform is hobby-based internships. So many we see so many engineering students applying to writing internships, design internships, photography internship, video making internship. I remember jokingly we say that in India you do engineering first and you figure out what you want to do with your life later on. I think that's we see that happening on a daily basis on the platform when we see a lot of engineers applying to internships which have nothing to do with the field that they are studying right now. But these are the broad four segments that we see internships in. And now in terms of how does it work, it's a fairly simple process, a free platform. So students explore the opportunities on the platform, and I'll give you a quick demo of that, how does that happen. Then they can create an account. They submit the application for the internship of their choice among the available ones on the platform. Depending on the quality of their application, companies will contact them directly through Internshala platform and interview them. Interview can happen physically or online. These days, obviously, primarily online. And the students are hired, and then they start their internship. As I said, not only the platform is fully automated and has AI inbuilt into it, we also take pride in providing world-class support to students. So at every stage, a student has any doubt or if they face any issue during, before, after the internship, they're always there to help them. And it's a free platform. I'll just give a quick walkthrough of the platform so that you understand how this works. Right. So this is Internshala homepage, and you can see these are internships in different segments. So internships are segmented by location, they are by profile, category, etc. So let me just show you. So what happens when you go in internships? Right. So sorry. You can see that there are this is internship search page. So you can apply search as per category. You can apply search as per location. You can apply search as the start date, duration of the internship. You can also, if you are final year students and you are only or recent graduates and you want to look only for those internships which come with a job offer, you can apply that filter here. And you can see that these are the internships that we have on the platform. So there's web development, then there's digital marketing, law, accounts, finance, marketing, web development. So there are the number of internships. So here on this page, you can see a quick snapshot of all the internships that we have on the platform. Let me just see if I can see a number, how many internships do we have right now. So you can see we have about 10,500 internships live on the platform right now. And let's say you are a computer science student and you are interested in this internship. You will click on view details. You will see all the details about this internship, which is like what's the company name, what does it do, what's the duration of the internship, what's the stipend, what's the last date to apply, and so on and so forth, and what are the responsibilities. If you think this is the internship that you want to do, you click on apply now. And from here, you create an account, you upload your resume, you answer the questions that the company may have asked in the application process, and submit your application. Your application instantaneously reaches the company. They go through it. If they like it, they schedule an interview with you and they hire you. So it's a fairly straightforward process how the platform works, right? So that's essentially how Internshala works for a student. Now, how does it work for a college? So other than students registering on the platform directly, so in the beginning of the talk, Vijay did a poll where we asked how many of you have an MOU with Internshala. So other than students directly applying for internship in Internshala, college can also enter into an agreement with Internshala, sign an MOU with us. And 5,000 colleges pan India have already done so till date. So the way it works is you sign an MOU with Internshala to get a college account. Once you have a college account, then in one go you can upload details of all your students. The students' accounts are created on Internshala, and from there on the process is similar in terms of how they search and apply for internship that I just demonstrated. But as a college, you get to be in the loop, right? So you have a dedicated dashboard to track students' internship status, who has been hired, who has been applying. You get to be part of different community groups and events that we conduct to create awareness about internships in your campuses. And then again, this entire mechanism is free of cost. So again, neither colleges nor students have to pay anything to Internshala. to use the platform and find internships for themselves or for their students. So I talked about that as a college account, you get to be part of dedicated campaign. So from time to time, we host online recruitment fairs, and these online recruitment fairs are built around internships. So internships which come with a job offer, and we have a certain criteria like what's the minimum salary they would pay after completion of the internship and convert once they convert the student into an employee. So we curate some of those opportunities, bring them on a microsite, and we make those opportunities available to all the colleges with whom we have an MOU, and these are dedicated campaigns we do. Several TPOs are very proactive. They want to run sessions in their colleges to educate students about internships, what are the benefits, and how they can avail one either through Internshala or through the college effort. So we extend every possible support in terms of material, in terms of statistics, trends, to help them conduct those sessions. You can see a picture of that session on this slide. Yeah. Finally, I talked about the Internshala is the official internship partner of AICTE, and for last 2 years we have been running Internship Day, which is a national reward ceremony to felicitate the efforts of TPOs who work tirelessly to bring a culture of internships in their campus. So this event is jointly conducted by Internshala and AICTE at AICTE headquarters in Delhi every August. From every state, every region, and at a national level, we identify the colleges with the best internship record, and they are recognized and they are rewarded. So the picture on the bottom right is from this 2019's edition. We had about 400 training and placement officers from all over India. Somebody was from Manipur, somebody was from Chennai, somebody was from Kashmir, and somebody was from Kutch in Gujarat. So I think from every corner of India, training placement officers come together. They brainstorm ideas on, exchange ideas on what they are doing in their campuses and how they can benefit from what initiatives others are doing in their colleges. And I think this is one of the most remarkable events that I get to be part of every year, to see the entire academic community on a single platform in the AICTE headquarters. I think it gives us a lot of hope about the percolation of message of internship that we want to take to campuses. So that's pretty much what Internshala does, and how as a college you can benefit from, as a college or as a student you can benefit from Internshala. As I said, all the internships come with a stipend. All the internships are verified, and the platform is free of cost for both you as a college as well as for students to apply. With this, I would take a pause. These are my team members' credentials, email address, and phone number in case you wish to know more about Internshala or would like your college to get into an MOU with Internshala. Please feel free to drop us an email or call us or visit us when the COVID-19 situation improves and we are able to travel and meet each other physically. So yeah, that's about it from my side. Vijay, I'll be happy to take questions if there are any.
Thank you, Sarvesh, for the presentation and introducing Internshala to our audience here. So while we wait for questions, I'd probably start with something very basic. In terms of internships itself, right? So, I mean, has there been a trend that you see? You know, you started about, say, 10 years ago. I mean, is there a trend in you see increasing internship offers being made by companies, or has it been static?
Right. So I think definitely, as I said, if I just look at last year alone, right, in 2019-20, we had about 1.5 million internship opportunities posted on the platform. And if I think of 2010-11, when I started Internshala, that number would have been not even 1% of what it is today. So I think there are a couple of things that have happened. One is along with, so most of the internship in Internshala come from startups, and last 10 years we have seen a lot of startups coming to life in India, and startups really need interns. So for large corporates, interns are needed maybe to build a relationship with the campus, or maybe just want to build a presence in the student community. But startups need interns because they want to go off, they have important projects that they want to deliver and they want to get off the ground as quickly as possible. So I think this rise of startups has definitely fueled a rise in internships. And then obviously the digital economy, right? So a lot of internships, earlier internships could only happen in plants and you need to visit a manufacturing setup, right? But now, as I talked about, a lot of internships are very digital in nature. They can be done remotely as well. And I think that has sort of helped bridge the gap between, oh, my academic calendar only allows me to do 2 months internship in summer. What do I do for the remaining 10 months, right? I think that has sort of enabled availability of interns throughout the year. So I think both on the demand side and the supply side, the trend is on rise.
Right. So I have a first question now, coming from Mr. Bhaskaran Venkatraman. What are the steps to sign an MOU with Internshala? A second question, what has been the conversion rate to full-time for students who take internships through Internshala? And the third question is, how many apply for every available internship on average?
Right. Sorry, the first question was, what's the process to sign an MOU? So Mr. Bhaskaran, I have given the contact details. You can write to us on that. It's a fairly straightforward process. We have a standard template where once you and I sign the agreement, we would create an account for the college, and once you have that account, you can automatically upload the details of your students. So within a day, this all can be done once the MOU is signed. So I would request you to drop us an email or call us on the contact details that I have given, and we'll take it from there. The second question was, on an average, how many students apply for internships on Internshala? So as I said, we have about 1.5 million positions, right, that are advertised on Internshala every year. And if I look at the number of applications on the platform, so this year we would have anywhere between 30 to 45 million applications that will be made on the platform this year. So on an average, number of applications that we receive against an internship position is about 30, right? But this is very skewed. So there are internships which receive 500,000 applications, and there are internships which receive only 4 or 5 applications. It depends on the internship profile and availability of the student, but on an average, every internship receives 30 to 50 applications. Now coming to conversion, so out of every 100 students, out of every 100 students who are selected for an internship, not all of them are available for conversion immediately, right? So because many students have to go back to campuses, but for those who are available, I think about 20 to 30 of those students are available. 50% of them are converted into a full-time employment. That means they are offered a full-time offer from the company. Now it's up to the student whether they accept it or not. So among those who get selected and those who are available, 50% of them are actually made an offer by the company to become a full-time member with them in case they are available and interested.
Great. So my next question is from Venkateshwari Palaniswamy. How to find online internships for core branch students?
Right.
I guess this is a tricky one.
Right. It's really hard. So I think on Internshala, even otherwise, you would find fewer internships for core branches, right? Because most of the internships on Internshala come from startups and come from companies which are digitally enabled. So companies which work in software space, IT space, or digital space, right? The core companies traditionally are not digital, and I think for them the mechanism, the old route of finding interns through local colleges continues. So we get, I think, if I say out of 100 internships are posted in Internshala, maybe about 2 or 3 of them would be from core branches. Now there's a distinction to be made. So in core branches, if you say electronics, then we are seeing a lot of boom coming in IoT sector, Internet of Things. So a lot of companies, a lot of product-based companies are coming in that space, and that's a hot area, right? But if you look at mechanical engineering, I think again in mechanical engineering we are seeing some internships in 3D printing space that are coming up. But civil engineering, for example, we get some internships in the environmental engineering domain, water resources domain, but core construction are very, very few. And today, during COVID-19, I think the online internships, the model doesn't work as much for core internships because it's a very physical in nature. It requires somebody to be on site, so that's hard today.
Right. If I may add to your answer, Sarvesh, I'm part of the MSME Association in Coimbatore, and there's a lot of skill demand there, where they don't have sometimes a HR function even. So, but they are in search for interns or apprentices, as they might call them, to work with core skills in mechanical, robotics, automation, whatnot. So even in civil engineering, someone who can understand and work in elevator technology and things like that. So I think this is a space which is untapped, if I were to say so, and this could be a potential TPO checklist to tick off in approaching. And most of these companies want talent from around those cities or regions. So they recruit locally, as you mentioned. So reaching out to these MSME associations and through them reaching out to these recruiters who might have opportunities in core would be a great next step.
Right, Vijay, if I can ask you a follow-up question on that. So these MSMEs, how do they engage with colleges currently? Because I'm sure they don't use any digital platforms like job portals or internship platforms or Naukri.com, etc. So how do they engage? How do they hire talent otherwise?
So some people try to do these sessions, apprenticeship sessions, or a couple of days training sessions, etc. Engage people with studying diploma courses or vocational courses, but the curriculum or sometimes the schedule of engineering grads kind of is prohibitive in allowing students to travel out, visit the particular company or a facility for a day or two, and that becomes challenging. That becomes a major hurdle for them to reach out. But what I have seen is the proprietor or the manager or the founder himself or herself actually decides, okay, this is what I need to do. I'll visit a college. If it works out, I'll keep going to that college forever, for every year, whenever I have my training needs. That's how relationships seem to be built. So apart from that, I've also seen some people post on newspapers the traditional way, newspaper advertisements to call for internships, and that is, I mean, in my view, that's a lost cause, because the current student cohort does not go print. Anyway,
thank you.
So I have another question from Mr. Dilip Kote. He's asking if the number of vacancies available in a company is 3 on Internshala and you end up getting 1,000 applications. How do you communicate with students?
Sorry, what's the question?
The question is, if the number of vacancies, internship vacancies, is 3 and 1,000 students end up applying, how does Internshala manage the communication?
Right. So this is entirely at the company's discretion. So all the applications that we receive for a particular internship are shared with the company in real time. The way students have an account, companies also have an account, right? So every time a student submits an application, instantly it reflects in the company's account. So the company HR goes through all the applications, and in their dashboard there are certain tools through which we sort of recommend, okay, these are the applications which seem to match your requirements. So there's a recommendation engine built into that. But other than that, it's a HR's discretion. So they can go through all the applications or only the top applications, and then they decide whom they want to call for the interview. It's company's discretion.
Right. Next question is from Mr. Selva Kumar Periyaswamy. So he's asking whether internships are available for second year engineering students or only for select final year students.
Right, Mr. Selva Kumar is a brilliant point, because I want to touch upon that. Internships are available for first year students also. Internships are available for school students also. So I think the whole notion that internships need to be done only by the pre-final year or final year student has gone away. So on Internshala, we see so many first year students applying to those. So obviously they don't have the technical skills right now, right? So they won't have the required subject knowledge to do a technical internship. But a lot of them work with NGOs. A lot of them work as a marketing ambassadors for different companies. So Google runs a student ambassador program, Microsoft runs a student ambassador program, right? Internshala runs a student ambassador program. So by becoming part of these programs, they learn communication skills, they learn how to work in teams, they learn how to interact digitally, etc. Some of these first year students are interested in their hobbies like photography, content writing, etc. So a lot of students take up internships in first year. Also, just to give you a stats, I talked about the 10 million students on Internshala right now, right? Of which 5 million registered only in last 1 year. Earlier, this 5 million 90-95% of them would come from third year, fourth year, or recent graduates. But now the mix is gradually shifting. So we now see about 20-25% of the students in this pool of 5 million students are first year students who just entered college. So Mr. Salil, the internships are for everyone, and I think more number of internships a student does, higher would be the clarity that he or she would have about what's the right career path for him, and more skills, more network, more knowledge he or she would have. So companies don't really discriminate based on your year of study anymore. All they need is, do you have the required skills, knowledge, and motivation to do this internship? As long as you have it, whether in first year, second year, third year, fourth year, it doesn't matter. In fact, AICTE's internship policy also now sort of is constantly advising, nudging colleges in that direction, that we should start thinking about practical exposure and practical learning of students right from the first year, not just in pre-final year or final year.
All right. The next question: has COVID had an impact on the internships this summer?
Yeah, of course, massive impact. I think if you are on LinkedIn, you would have seen so many posts from students who had already secured internship somewhere, either through campus placement or through their network. They had to they lost those internships. Companies had to withdraw their internship offers. On Internshala, so I said 40% of internship are work from home, right? The remaining 60% are in-office internship. So the 60% became nearly zero, or maybe 5%, right? So all the in-office internships for a period of 2 months, in mid-March to mid-May, they had nearly disappeared. The work from home internship rose from 40% to 50%. So some of the vacuum that was created by lack of in-office opportunities was filled in by the online internships. Obviously, the number of opportunities available to students for internships have reduced by half in last 2 months, and the competition has become fierce now, right? Because earlier there were X number of applicants for given internship. Now there are 2X. So it has definitely had an impact on internship. But I think in the long run it will come back to normal soon, because internships are a very flexible thing. As I said, internships are fueled by startups. So my sense is a lot of people who are going out of workforce or losing their jobs may take an entrepreneurship route, which is what happened in 2008, 2009 also, when the global recession happened and a lot of them had to lose their jobs. Many of them became entrepreneurs, right? And I hope something similar happens in the current scenario also. Many people turn entrepreneurs, and when they turn entrepreneurs, the first thing they would need is interns. And when they need interns, they come to Internshala to hire interns. So I think the internship numbers will be back up to normal very soon. But yeah, in the right time, in this summer, there has been an impact.
All right, great. The next question is around, is there any platform or language that's quite in demand now so that we can advise our students accordingly?
So I think
this is more about the technology internships that you mentioned.
Right. So I think Python is definitely gaining a lot of prominence, right? Because Python is a multi-purpose language. You can use it for programming. You can use it to build web applications. There's vast application of it in data science. So nothing happens in data science without Python. So I think definitely Python is one technology that I would advise students to learn. Then obviously the other consumer internet technologies, like how to build websites. So basically PHP, React, or Android application development. I think these are some of the technologies that I would recommend students to learn. Those who are mathematically inclined and love statistics, numbers, and playing with the data, I think machine learning, data science can also be a field they can explore.
Right. So now the next question is from me. We have kind of worked with a lot of education institutions, and some institutions which are slightly more autonomous have the flexibility to afford to send their students for an entire semester for internships, and that means when they're in the final year, that PPO, everything works very smoothly. Whereas some other universities and colleges which are affiliated to larger universities may not have that freedom or flexibility. So now, if you were to kind of advise both these groups in how they can maximize internship outcomes, what would you suggest?
Right. So the colleges and universities which allow the entire semester-long internship, I think you are best positioned, because industry, one of the, I didn't touch upon that point in my presentation, but one of the key demand or key pain point from the corporates has been that internships are usually only for a short duration, 2 months, right? In which the first month is spent onboarding the student, training him or her, right? And maybe in the second month I get some output. And by the time the student is ready to deliver meaningful contribution to the organization, he has to go back to the campus. So I think now, allowing longer duration internship has been a long-standing demand from the industry, and 6-month interns work great. I think we see the, the the highest selection rates are for the 6-month internship, because companies are very uh, happy and they look forward to hiring long duration interns, because they know that they would get the investment that they make in the student in terms of training him or her back. So I think those colleges who have this 6-month semester long internship policy, they are already, they've done what they needed to do. In fact, a lot of these students are actually converted, and these are the students who are mostly converted into a full-time role. So I think either through Internshala or through your own network, you should place as many students as you can in your in internships. Obviously, you need to train them with the required skills. You need to make sure that so finding an internship is. I also want to clear one misconception, right? Finding an internship is in these days is as tough or very similar to finding a job, right? Companies expect you to have some knowledge. Companies expect you to have some skill. So it's not that you can completely go raw and expect somebody to offer you internship. I think for internship also, the bar on skills is increasingly rising because the competition is so fierce, and the opportunities for students to learn those skills are so many now, right? So there's no excuse for somebody to not have those skills even before they apply for internship. So I think, but if you have 6-month interns program and your students are well trained, well skilled, it's job done for you. And for the colleges who offer only 1 month, 2 month summer vacation, or they don't have the provision for a semester long internship, the online internship that I talked about are saviors. I think they should encourage their students to take up online internships if they can. And most of these online internships don't require a full day commitment. They require you to spend only 1 to 2 hours every day. Maybe you write a small program for me. Maybe you write, or maybe you just work on weekends for me, right? Maybe you write an article for me. Maybe you write, do some market research for me, etc. Right? So I think if your college does not have a provision of a semester-long internship, I would encourage you to advise your students to take up online internships, keep themselves engaged, so that they can continue to build their skills, and so that when the placement season starts, they already have a lot of practical experience on their resume that they can talk about.
Right. As part of the Internshala team, I mean, you would have interacted with recruiters across the board, startups as well as more established players. Now, from that sense, I have always had a sense that, okay, startups need people. Startups may not be able to plan 1 year or 2 years ahead their numbers. So if they have a demand that is quite immediate, and campus recruitment doesn't quite fit into that scheme of things, hence startups trust that internship model more. Now, what is the other side of the story? For example, an established player coming to Internshala, or larger companies coming to Internshala, what's the difference here in terms of their approach?
So I think there are two parts to the startup versus large corporate internship program. Startup programs, as you rightly said, are very immediate need basis, right? I don't really know what will I do, what I'll be doing 6 months later or 12 months later, right? I have a project, there's an idea that I want to test, and I want to do it right now. So, and the internship profiles are also very fluid, because the organization structure is also very open, right? So I might hire you for marketing, but you're also doing product, you're also doing design, you're also doing a bit of coding, right? So I think the internship programs at a startup are a lot more fluid. You have direct access to the senior managements. For example, interns who come at Internshala, many of them directly work with me or my direct report. So I think the learning and the access to senior management is a lot more in a startup environment. For big brands, uh, it's more structured, I think. So they already know, they've done it for so many years, right? They know the pitfalls, how to structure an internship program to maximize somebody's learning, right? So they have well-designed interventions. They have the entire schedule. So if I'm hiring somebody for 2 months, they would know what's happening in week 1, what's happening in week 2, what's happening in week 3. Week 4, there's a presentation to senior management, and so I think the entire calendar is chalked out. The organization has obviously the resources to provide all the necessary support to an intern. So you want to do market research, they already have somebody in the team who can guide students on that. While in a startup environment, often students have to take initiatives on their own and do things on their own. But also, these are trade-offs, right? A big brand is more structured, limited, but is more comfortable, and obviously the brand name associated. Startup is like firefighting all the time. You are on the front. You're trying to win the customers, solve their problems, try to get new customers, and build the product, hire people. I think they're trying to do so many things together. So experience is, I think, far more intense in a startup internship than a corporate internship.
Right. I'm getting a few questions on the details of the MOU and all. So just a blanket answer, I thought I'll say we'll be sending a follow-up email to all the attendees wherein we'll include Sarvesh's and Internshala contact details. So you can probably approach them and get the details of the MOU.
It's a very simple process. I just want to say that it's just a very simple process. We just say that, hey, college wants to associate with Internshala. This is a process, and we are happy to do it. We sign an agreement, and the next day you get a college account, and from there on it starts.
Right. So it is also free for the universities.
Yes. Yes. Free for the universities, free for the students also.
Right. So my next question is on that. Amongst the, you work with a lot of colleges, and you also see, good traction amongst specific colleges. So I would assume that they are doing something right in fostering, culture of internships, that being the topic. How do you think the best colleges end up being able to motivate or push many students to, pursue this internship pathway?
Right. So I think I have seen in my interaction, I've seen two major differentiators in colleges who do well and colleges who are not doing so well, right? The two main factors that I see are, one is how involved, how invested the top management is in building a culture of internship. So in the colleges where VCs or a dean or the principal himself or herself understands the power of internships and wants to build a culture of internship, I think they essentially make sure that the required support is available to the TPO team to build this culture of internship, and they would make sure that they get the right support, right? So I think that's the most important thing. If the college senior management, the top management of the college understands the power of internship, I think it's a step in the right direction. If they don't understand it and the entire focus is just on the academic curriculum or just placements, I think then that's where the internship culture will not get built. And second is obviously how passionate the TPO himself or herself is about internships. Again, there are TPOs who just have so much of workload to get the students placed. They are not able to devote time to internship. And there are TPOs who understand that it's a preemptive step. If you can build a culture of internship in your campus, then automatically your load on placements will reduce, because so many students would have automatically either already found a job through internship, or when the time comes for placement, they are better equipped. They have the skills, they have the soft skills, the technical skills, etc. So I think these are the only two factors which I think determine how successful a college is in building a culture of internship. One is how invested the senior management is, and the second is how invested and how much time the training placement officer has to invest in all the steps that they need to take to educate the students about internships.
Great. I think I'd like to just touch upon that briefly, a little bit more context for the TPOs here. So I have also seen, in some institutions, there are specific cultures that are also evolved from the ground up. Like some institutions, I've seen a regular year on year, there's a student cohort which pursues higher education, for instance, overseas. And they pass on that kind of energy and momentum to the next batch. And I think one batch of good internship cohort from your college can also kind of change the dynamics, give you that bit of diversity, that flows through year on year. So that first year, you need some external push to get that happen and motivation, to go the right way.
And even for, just to add, even for higher education, a lot of universities are now valuing the practical experience you had before you come for the master's program. So even if somebody wants to go for higher education, I don't think these are two mutually exclusive agendas. You can actually strengthen your profile even for a master's program abroad.
Right. So I have a next question. So mechanical engineering, petroleum engineering, etc. So I mean, is Internshala the right platform to look for such internships? And the second question, if someone does find such internships in mechanical or petroleum, etc. Are there any options to do some of these internships online? Have you seen any such cases?
So in mechanical, I have seen design internships happening online, right? So some design firms, product design companies would want to get their products designed, and they are being offered online, and there'll be few. I haven't come across any example of any petroleum internship on Internshala so far. I think ONGC is one company that regularly hires interns, and they bring out their own notification. So I don't think there are any private players in the petroleum sector or startups in petroleum sector hiring interns. Except in mechanical engineering, yes, there have been a few internships in the area of robotics, in the area of design, 3D design or product design, that we are seeing on Internshala.
Right.
But I think just to answer the question, building a network among local SMEs, local manufacturing units, local plants, I think that's the most sustainable and successful strategy that I have seen colleges deploy for their core engineering internships.
Right. So next question, are there any international internships available for Indian students? Have you seen any traction in that?
Right. So there are a lot of universities. So Internshala does not get these opportunities directly, but we aggregate these opportunities from everywhere in the world, right? So there are a lot of foreign universities who offer research internship programs across different streams, right? From computer science to mechanical, chemical, and all of that. So if there is any internship program anywhere in the world which is open to Indian students, you would find that on Internshala. In such cases, the application may not happen on Internshala, but you will get redirected to the universities or organizations page where you can apply. So there are, to answer your question, yes, there are international internships that you can find in Internshala, but mostly these would be academic or university research internships. Now with COVID-19, there's an opportunity for Internshala to reach out to international recruiters and say, hey, why not recruit your talent from India? Because everybody's anyway working remotely, right? So whether the US recruiter hires an intern from US or India, it doesn't really matter now because they're anyway going to work remotely. That's the direction that we're going to work on in next few months on Internshala. So on Internshala, we want to reach out to these international businesses and see if they would be open to hire interns from India through Internshala. That's a work in progress.
Right. So I'll be taking the last question now. How did you get this idea to start Internshala? What motivated you?
Acha. So I come from a very small place called Nawalgarh in Rajasthan, and I studied in Hindi medium till the time I wrote JEE exam and went to IIT Madras, and I come from a business family, so the idea of starting something on my own was always there, but what to start was a question, right? And I felt if you want to make a large scale difference to people's lives in India, right, there are only three ways in which you can do it. Either through education. So because I could personally see that my career path or my life path was fundamentally different than those of my classmates in 10th and 12th because I got access to better education in IIT than they did, right? So I think I felt education is one key enabler which can do wonders to millions of lives. The other is technology, right? Technology can bridge so many divides and can uplift people out of poverty. And third is politics. So if you're a good politician, if you implement good policies, I think you can right away you can make a change to people's lives. So politics was definitely not my cup of tea. I don't think I would have survived there. But education and technology felt like one domain where I wanted to work on. Because I felt at the end of the day, you are building a business. Obviously, you're building a business, but you also want to leave a meaningful impact on the society. Because of your business, because of your venture, you want to, other than financial profit, you also want to be able to say that somebody's life changed because of my effort, right? So I think I was very clear about that. So we say Internshala is a .com business with the heart of .org, right? So we are a for-profit enterprise, but we are very social in nature. We understand there's a responsibility that we have on our shoulders to guide millions to their desired career path. So that spirit was always there. And then we're thinking what we can do in education, right? I was thinking what activity can we do in education. So Internshala's official, the legal name of the company is Scholivers Educare Private Limited. Scholivers stands for Scholars Universe. So initially the idea was that we will build a single platform where anything that an academic student might need, like in 10th you need help with board exams, 12th you need help with competition exams, during graduation you need help with GRE, GMAT, GATE exams, then jobs, internships, etc. I think we wanted to create all of this on a single platform, right? Now the question was where to start from, right? And then we say, okay, no, there's something already for the competition exam, there's something already for jobs, but internships felt like one area where not much work had happened in India back in 2010, right? Nobody knew, the internship was not a mainstream concept back then. So that felt like an opportunity where we could perhaps get in and see if some difference could be made. At the same time, a friend of mine with whom I studied at IIT Madras, and I went on to work, and he went on to do an MBA in London School of Business. He was looking for an internship in India, and he could not find an internship. So I was amazed. Somebody from IIT Madras having an MBA from London Business School cannot find an internship in India, then how difficult it must be for other students, right? So I think that sort of opened my eyes to there's a massive problem out there where so many qualified, talented students can't find internships. On the other hand, companies keep saying that we don't find good candidates and the students are not employable when they go for jobs. So I felt maybe internship could be that bridge where students can figure out this. As I said, students can discover what they want to do and they can build their skills so the companies find right employable students when they graduate. So I think all this thought process and this experience together uh, led to the birth of Internshala, and we wanted name to be something which is connected to a is Indian in nature. So Internshala, right? Shala is a India is a Hindi or Sanskrit term. So we wanted to retain our Indian identity. That anybody who hears the term, we feel that it's just an Indian platform. So the name came up that way. Secondly, Internshala also means internship as a place to learn, right? The way Pathshala is meant like school where you learn, right? So we thought internship is a place to learn, which is why it should be Internshala. So that's how Internshala happened.
Great, thanks. I mean, that's quite a nice way to put it. And this insight, I mean, I should have brought it up earlier in this webinar. But thank you very much, Sarvesh, for taking the time out to address our audiences. I hope we can work together more often and help. I know the same people that we seem to be, addressing in the education space. So I'll leave it at that, and all the details regarding Sarvesh's contact and the team's contact will be shared with the follow-up email that comes in about a day's time. And if you miss parts of this recording, you will also get that. So just in conclusion, I just wanted to share a couple of links. There's a lot of confusion around from the last webinar, where to reach the recordings. FacePulse is the YouTube channel for TPOs and faculty. FacePrep is for the students. So in case you wanted to send the students for CodeVita training from last week, you should direct them to FacePrep. So please make a bookmark of that so that you're able to check each of them independently. Once again, thank you, Sarvesh. I hope you had a good time interacting with us as much as I did, and look forward to seeing more of you soon.
Thank you so much, Vijay. I really enjoyed this session, and thank you so much to all the faculty members and training placement officers. I said this in my last, so when we celebrated Internship Day, I said I think it's a hardest and perhaps most thankless job the training placement officers do in our country that they're not recognized. And I feel really bad about it because they put in so much effort to bring companies on the platform or to the college. They're putting so much effort to train students, and then if companies are not good, then they hear the complaints from the students. If the students are not good, then they hear the complaint from the companies. And but I think rarely somebody sort of goes and says thank you for all the hard work they put in. But I think you play a major role in shaping the destiny and the careers of the students, and you play, and hence the destiny of the country. So from Internshala and from all of us in Internshala, thank you so much for everything that you do, and I hope you stay safe and take care.
Thank you, Sarvesh, and thank you everyone for participating in today's webinar. Look forward to catching up with you next week. Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.